Alright, let's make a YouTube video. So, I believe our generation is basically the first generation in many that is not concerned with seeing the world exactly as it is. And it turns out that this desire for absolute truth and clarity that our forefathers saw actually influenced their approach to God. Quick history lesson. John Wesley was born in 1703 in Epworth, UK. As a boy, he was admitted to the highly prestigious Charterhouse School and later Oxford College due to being a highly intelligent individual. While at Oxford, John and his brother Charles and a couple of their friends formed an accountability group together, with a desire to grow in their faith. Many of their colleagues at the time made fun of them, giving them derogatory names such as the Holy Club, which they gladly accepted, wearing like a badge of honor. The name that best stuck, however, was the Methodists. They were called this because of their methodical, almost scientific approach to the faith. And although most of their colleagues jeered at them, the Methodist movement, which began at Oxford, would become the origins for thousands of denominations globally, including the United Methodist Church and the Wesleyan Church. But what do the Methodists have to do with us today? The Methodist movement is so vast that it influenced the lives of our parents and our grandparents in a way that they had this same methodical, black and white approach to God. And as history has repeatedly shown, it seems like, not wanting to be like our parents, we swung too far the other way. My name is Quinton, if we haven't met. I'm a Christian ministry major, and so I have conversations with people my age pretty regularly about their spiritual lives. And what I find is that what people going into ministry and those in a secular career that are our age have in common is the fact that they struggle to find God. Even Christians who want to have a relationship with God are struggling to figure out exactly how to do that. And I think it's because we've leaned into this mystery of God too much. I know I myself have struggled with this even at times, trying to figure out exactly how to reach out to God, how to meet with God, what my times with God should look like. And it feels like it's all pointless. And that's why today I want to talk about 3 spiritual disciplines that you can incorporate into your life to improve your relationship with God. So the first discipline I want to share, I believe it's the foundation for all other spiritual disciplines, and that's Scripture. You see, we human beings are like sponges, and let's be real. We listen to worldly music, we watch worldly movies, we even read worldly books. And like a sponge, we're filling up with the world, and there's nothing wrong with reading or watching or listening to these things. But if we are never listening or watching or reading anything that points us back to God, what's the probability that we're going to become aware of His presence and make time for Him in our day? Very unlikely. And that's why reading Scripture or even listening to Scripture is so important, because it fills our minds and it fills our hearts with an awareness of God, and it allows us to make room for Him. It gives us a desire to make room for Him in our day. I believe there is power in Scripture to change us. This is a love letter from God addressed to us after all. And as John Wesley believed, we can only really serve and love God when we become aware of the abundant love that He first had for us. The Christian journey isn't just an inward journey though. It has to manifest through outward expression. I don't know who said it first, but several of my ministry professors have said to me, Quinton, you're never more like Jesus than when you're serving. And it's so true. Jesus even makes a statement in multiple Gospels that He did not come to be served, but to serve. This is why Jesus professes that the second greatest commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. And I don't know about you, but I tend to love myself very well. I wake up every morning and have a well-balanced breakfast, and then I drive in my $8,000 car to campus, where I study at my fancy liberal arts college. You see, I treat myself quite well, and if we are to take seriously the call to love others as ourselves, the result will be phenomenal. But we can begin today by looking for small opportunities to serve other people. Because, as I said, we're never more like Jesus than when we're serving. And finally, I want to share a corporate discipline, which is worship. So many churches are doing online service today, and it makes it very hard to have an authentic and meaningful worship service when watching church or chapel on a screen. But it is possible. And so despite the challenges, I want to give you 3 tips to help make worship in this weird season something meaningful and impactful for you. So number one, don't watch church from your bed. I've done it. I'm sure you have, or at least you've been tempted to. If you're watching church from your bed, it's very unlikely that you're going to be engaged and in the right attitude to really experience God's presence and participate in the community of God as they worship. I actually got into the habit of this a couple Sundays in a row this semester, and it allowed me to slip into a kind of consumerist mindset when it came to worship. It was like I was watching a TV show or something. And so I can't stress enough. Get up, put the clothes on that you normally would to go to church, act like you're going to church, even if you're just watching in your living room. And that brings me to my second point, which is watch with some friends. Now, don't make a gathering of 200 people. We might as well be having church at that point. But if you have roommates, or if you're at home with your family members, encourage everybody to come into the living room and watch together. Just joining together as a group of people to tune into your local church and watch service is a much more powerful thing than just sitting alone in your room and watching. And then finally, participate. And this is probably going to be the hardest sell of this video, because it is awkward when you're watching a church service online to participate. How do you even do that exactly, But I want to encourage you to sing along with the songs that the worship team is playing. Or if there's corporate prayer or liturgy being read, read along, pray along. It definitely might feel awkward when nobody else is participating. But our participation in worship is critical to having a true and genuine worship experience where God can meet us where we are. You see, it's when we choose to come together as people and participate with the right attitude and the right spirit that true worship actually takes place. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you find these spiritual disciplines helpful in your own faith walk. And I encourage you to like this video and subscribe if it was helpful to you.